Hello friends, welcome. From today we are starting a new Python series. I'm gonna teach you Python and I'm gonna teach you without having to install a single thing in your computer. You'll learn it online and without paying anything, without downloading anything. It'll just be free for you. So what you'll have to do is open up a browser. So I wanna open Google Chrome. Okay, let's open Google Chrome and I'm gonna type python-online.com python-online.com. So sorry, I mistyped it. No, it's not that. online-python.com. So this is the website that I've been talking about, and once it is loaded, it'll look something like this. So I have a dark theme. You can also use a light one clicking on the sun. If you don't want to use a light one, you can just let it be. Now, what we will do is first we'll check if the code or if the interpreter is just active or not. So we'll type print hello world. So run this. So you get this output saying hello world. Means that the code is running, it's all fine. And that is really good. Now what we can do is we can clear this screen out and we can also create a new tab. So the first thing you can do something like I'll teach you. So in this episode I'm going to teach you about data types and variables. So there are basically four main data types on Python. The first one, so first I'll tell you something. Anything written after this hash sign is known as comment. So if you write print after hash, what do you think? Will it run? Nothing. Means that comments are not to be executed. This is just for making the code look clean and making it easier to understand. It's written by developers of the who's making the program, and the first thing, there are four main data types. What happened to my typing? So there are four main data types. The first one, you can call it string. Second one, it would be called first one string. Second one is integer. So string is denoted by str. Integer is denoted by int. And the third one is float. Float is just denoted by float itself. And fourth one would be called boolean. So boolean is denoted by bool. So I'm going to explain all those to you. So let's see if I can increase the font size. Let me do it in the website. So this one, the first one is the string. Anything that has text values or inside of this or this. So anything that has a text value or is inside of double quotation marks or single is said to be a string. Next thing. So integer is a data type in Python. It's any number that does not have a floating point or that does not have a point. decimal point. Let's say 1. 1 is an integer because it's a number without a point, and 1.1 it's not because it has a point. And here we go to float. So any number with a point. So 1.1 is going to be a float. Next thing, boolean, just conditions, true or false. So remember that writing true or false in Python could create some errors. The first thing is the first letter of these keywords should be capitalized. T and F, they should be capitalized and only be written. Now I'm gonna explain. I'll give some examples. So let's say that you're writing something like we wrote previously. Print, and inside of double quotes, hello world. Running this gives an output of hello world. So this thing inside of the double quotations is known as a string. The next thing is an integer. So we could write print and 1. If you run this, you will get hello world with 1. So it means that there is 1 to be displayed as well. We can say that 1 is an integer. Next thing, float. Print 1.1. You can see 1.1 in the screen as well. So it denotes a float. The final thing, print true. It'll print true. So this is known as a boolean value. Now, I'll talk about some more things. First thing, what is a variable? A variable is something that carries some data. Let's say a is equals to hello world, b is equals to 1, c is equals to 1.1, d is equals to false. So I've used this print keyword a lot of time, and I've not explained you what it does, so I'm gonna explain it to you. So anything that is written inside of the brackets made with print is going to be executed and shown in the terminal as it is showing right now. Now the print has been commented, so it will not be shown. Look at this, you are not getting any output. Now you might be saying, we've written so many codes. A equals to hello world, B is equals to 1, C equals to 1.1, D is equals to false. Why is it not showing? Because we've not used the print keyword. Now if you want to show this, you'll have to type print and A. So remember something, I'll do it and tell it to you. Hello world for A, because A stands for hello world that is saved inside of it. So if you type A within some quotations, it'll just display A, because strings just display as it is. So to prevent this from happening, you will just have to type a number that is A without any strings. So print B, similarly print C, D. So this will give hello world 1, 1.1, and false. You see this? Now, the next thing, you will always have to make your code clean. So you see that this print statements occupied around 4 lines. What if I say to you that you could just do this in a single line of code? Well, you can do it using some commas. After A, just a comma, B, comma, C, comma, D. Nothing complicated, nothing so great, just a normal algorithm. Hello world, new, etc. But there's a problem. You can see that all the text being displayed is in the same line. What can we do? Well, there's a way. You can use some of this kind of text notations. And okay, this would be in the string \n \n. Okay, after A before B and before C, that would be a \n. Before D there would be a \n. So what this \n do is create a new line. Now this should always be inside of a string. Now you may say the strings are displayed as it is, but why is this creating a new line? Because it's a function. You can also not call it function, it's just a way Python made it. So you cannot change this. Now, after you run this code, you will see all this in different lines. What did it say? Let's see. Invalid syntax. So I wanted to show it to you how Python shows you some errors that you have in your code. It says if there's a syntax error, you can, let's see. If you don't know about syntax, you can just go to Google or any browser and type what is syntax in what is syntax in programming. So it will say that syntax is a way of writing code, but if you want to get into some detailed ways and some answers, you can just read through them. Now let's see what the error is. File main.py line 17. So you can see where the error is in line 17. File, there's nothing, invalid syntax. So what you'll have to do is, I just taught you about commas. After a string, you can just not directly write it. You will have to give a comma, and one more comma here. So if I run this, I think we'll not get this error. You see this? Everything is in a new line. So this is really good in case if you want to make your code look clean. Now there is some more thing to do. So let's say that you're writing a complicated code and you want to see what is the data type of a certain variable. What you'll do is just type print type. Type is just for displaying the type and the variable name a, comma b, comma c, comma d. That is it. You don't have to do anything else. Just click on run. It says it takes 1 or 3 arguments. So my bad. We'll have to enter a single argument, not more than that. Now you can just type the same thing again. Print type b. Print type C, and finally print type D. So according to me, the type A should give a string represented by str, B int, C float, and finally D that stands for boolean represented by bool. So let's see. As I said, string int, str, int, float, float, and bool. So these are the data types. Now, I've not explained you much about variables, so I'm going to explain them once more. So anything that is before n is equals to sign, that is before n equals to sign and has some values in it is known as a variable. So it can also be constant, like when you're not able to change the data inside of the variable, it is known as a constant. Right now, let's also how to change the data inside of the code as well. So the first thing, a is equals to hello world. So this variable is a string variable. So a is known as an identifier, so it's the name of the variable. So now what you can do is you can also change the data type, like a is equals to world hello. So now if you run this, instead of just displaying hello world, it'll display world hello because it is overrode by this. So we just wrote this, and after that we made a new decision of saying that we want this, not this. So the Python cell thinks that we want the newer one, so it displays it to us. So the next thing that we are gonna learn is how you can just keep change the type or something like that. But for that you will have to type. Let's say what I can do is okay, this is B. Now you can just give a variable with C is equals to B. C is equals to B. This is somehow like math. It's somehow like mathematics. Now if you type print C, and there is also a semicolon system in Python. So anything written after a semicolon would be considered to be in the same line, even though if it's in the different line. So I can write the same thing in the next line, print type C. Let's see what we will get. So you can also do something like print and a string saying the value of C is comma C, and type before the type you can just type, give a string and type the type of C is, and just run this. So what we will get is the value of C is 1, the type of C is class int. So C is an integer because C just inherits from D, and D is an integer. So you can also change things like int C and type print type C. Now the type of C is an integer. It was integer and it is integer. So if you want to change it from integer to a string, you could just do that. It is still int. Now if you want to solve this, you will have to do something yourself. The tutorial videos does not just give you everything. You'll also have to find something out yourself. Now the video is gonna end here, and if you like the video or enjoyed it, you can just like it and subscribe to the channel. It'd be great, and let's try to find the answer why it is not showing string instead of int. You can just do some Googles or go to Bing or also go to DuckDuckGo or Firefox and just search it. If you have some developer friends, you can get suggestions from them. Now that's it for video, and bye bye.